Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Yes, yes. This is 𝐒𝐴Queen's Roundtable Show coming to you live. Yes, this is a different time. What is this? 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know we typically do it on Sundays. Again, like I had said before, that we're going to be adding some additional shows. And I am super excited tonight. I'm your host, 𝐐𝐿 Harrison. And this is a special edition, if you will. I am interviewing some of the co-authors of the new anthology titled Undefeated. All right, Undefeated. So this is the first co-author that I'm going to be doing a series of interviews. Like I said, the different co-authors of this particular anthology by the one and only Kearn. I know you guys know her as also AKA the Butts in the Seat Queen. This is her awesome anthology bringing together, I believe it's, I don't know if it's 100 women or close to 100 women. I lost track of the count, but you're going to be hearing a lot more and seeing a lot more of these authors being interviewed. And I'm going to let our special guest tell you all about that in just a moment. Let me just go ahead and give a quick introduction. Actually, I wanted to, well, I'm going to switch this up here in just a second. But let me go ahead and give a quick introduction before she introduces herself. Just want to let you know, again, I am your host for 𝐒𝐴Queen's Roundtable Show and podcast. I am also your host for the 𝐒𝐴Queen's Roundtable Leadership Symposium, which takes place 3 times a year, January, May, and September. Yes, we are ramping up for the next one coming up next month in September. I am also the executive producer of the 𝐒𝐴Queen's Roundtable channel on the Women Win Network, which is specifically dedicated for women's empowerment. Okay, so I am still looking for TV show hosts. So if you ever want, or if you are interested, you have your own show, maybe you're streaming now on, I don't know, another network, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and you want to explode your visibility and your credibility, you know, let's link up. Let's talk about you being a show host on my channel on the Women Win Network. And I am also the visionary author for Born to Lead, Awakening the Leader Within, which is going to be launched next month. So if you are not following me on Facebook, Realize Your Potential 123, or on LinkedIn under 𝐐𝐿 Harrison, please do so that way you can join us for the virtual launch. All right, so Miss LaToya, I want you to go ahead, introduce yourself to the audience, and just let us know before you dive into the particulars in reference to the book, or however much you're going to share about your chapter in the book. Let us know a little bit more about you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is LaToya D. Buchanan. Thank you, Ms. 𝐐𝐿 Harrison, for having me tonight. I am so excited to be here. I'm very excited about sharing with you the anthology Undefeated. I'm working with some amazing women, so I'm very excited about that. But as for me, I am a registered nurse and a board certified family nurse practitioner. I've been practicing nursing for 12 years now. My specialty for nursing is pediatrics, but as a family nurse practitioner, I am board certified to care for the family. So from life until you pass on and you're no longer here on this earth. So I have been an advocate for health professionals during the COVID crisis. I've been advocating for funding for childcare for the health professionals who are on the front lines of COVID. So I've done several interviews regarding that. I have also been a volunteer at my kids' school, of course, just trying to be on the front line and making sure that, you know, kids are washing their hands, and that the teachers are educating the children during this time throughout the COVID crisis as well. I've done some missionary work in Peru. I took there a spiritual message as well as one of healthcare, because I do teach holistically in whatever I do. I believe that your spirit and your physical, you know, combine and make you one. We are multidimensional human beings. So I was very excited about that trip. The first time I've ever been outside of the United States, and it definitely made me grateful for everything that we have here, from running water to actual floors in our home. So I was very grateful for that. I've also done advocating for disadvantaged nursing students at nursing organizational meetings, and I've advocated for increased funding for disadvantaged nursing students. So those who don't come from your traditional student background, but who definitely have the intelligence to be able to make awesome nurses, especially right now with such a nursing shortage. It was very important to me for the audience and those who had the power to produce funding for nurses to be able to understand the need and the abilities that nurses do have regardless of their background. I've been writing honestly since I was a very young girl. In middle school, I actually won a writing contest. It was a creative writing prompt, and I chose how a skunk got their white line down their back. And I won the contest, and so my creative writing was produced in the weekly newsletter in middle school. From there, I continued to write, more so journaling and expressing what it was in my brain, what I was perceiving from my surroundings and my environment. And I made a connection with a very wonderful lady who has been my spiritual mentor, my spiritual mother. Had an in-depth conversation with her, and she actually did some praying for me, and that increased my confidence to be able to stand before others and actually give a message of what it is that I'm perceiving. And I found in me doing that, I was actually able to connect with multiple people who, whether they were experiencing some of the challenges I've experienced or whether what I've gone through, they were currently in those situations. And me being able to share the tools that I utilize to make it through, help them to make breakthroughs as well and become better people and better contributing members to society. I am a single mother of 3 small children. Well, they're growing up. They'll always be my babies. And I say that very proudly because, you know, it was something that I didn't plan to happen. However, it did. But once again, I chose to be a victor and not a victim. I chose not to see myself as, oh, I'm just a single mother. No, I chose to take control of my life and make decisions to be able to independently care for my children and for myself. So I've come today to shed a little light and to be able to, you know, hopefully help someone make it through and know today that they are not alone in whatever their situation may be.
Wow. You know what? I'm just floored. Okay, so you're a nurse by profession.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And I know you talked about a holistic approach.
Yes.
So now do you have a consulting business as well, or?
So it's not a consulting business. I am right now currently doing the floor work for my primary care practice for women and children. As a nurse practitioner, you do have to collaborate with a physician. There are multiple states in the United States right now that do allow their advanced practice providers, nurse practitioners, to have independent practice. So that is actually approved. It's been stamped and approved. So we're still doing the floor work for that because, you know, my heart is to be able to help as many women and children as possible because, you know, it's important to know that we are our own rescue. You know, we sometimes look to other people to give to us or to do things for us, but it's important to me to empower and to educate, to know that you are your own rescue and you have the ability to do whatever you want to do. What better way to do that than when you're in an exam room one-on-one with someone, right? And they're able to be their most vulnerable with you, and you can utilize that moment to empower and improve. So, yeah.
Wow, that is awesome. And what state are you in?
I am currently in Texas.
Texas.
Yeah.
Okay, Texas. Yeah. I've been running into a lot of online entrepreneurs in like Dallas and Houston. What part of Texas are you in?
I'm in Houston.
Okay, yeah. I'm running into a lot. So Atlanta and Texas, I've been running into a lot. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, it is such an honor to have you here on the show. So let's segue into Undefeated. So what made you decide to become a part of that project?
Honestly, initially, growing up, I grew up in a little town in North Carolina, Monroe. It's a small town outside of Charlotte. So in the environment I grew up in and in the things that I was seeing during that time, you don't really see yourself as worthy of a lot. You have goals and aspirations and dreams of seeing outside of your environment, but you don't really know how to get there. And I've had so many mentors to encourage me, to speak words over me, to provide me with tools to be able to be successful. And by successful, I mean to have a positive mindset and to be able to have a goal, have a dream, have a vision, write it out and go for it. So initially, when I was presented with the opportunity, because of that growing up in that environment, you always have that little voice that tells you you're not worthy, or there's something about you that doesn't make you worthy enough to be a part of a project that multiple people will read, and to open your life up. Well, in that moment, I made a decision that no, the entire vision for this project is to be able to let people know that they can overcome challenges. So the same reasons I'm trying to talk myself out of not doing the project is the entire purpose of the project. So that immediately let me know, no, you have to connect with someone through your words, because your words will last for forever. Anything that you do, whether it's through technology or anything like that, can easily be shut down, taken away, gets lost in the cloud. You can't find it. You don't know what cloud it's in. But when you have something in black and white, and it's something that people can purchase, that they can have in their homes, they can have on their bookshelves, it's always a point of reference for them to be able to go back to and read. That's when I told myself, no, you have a very powerful story to tell, and you're going to tell it. You're going to show the world how you've been undefeated, and you're going to teach other people how they can also be undefeated.
Yeah, I love it, because like you said, it's in black and white, and who knows, it could be maybe used for maybe a book group in church. It could be,
That's right.
Maybe some sort of an organization that helps, mentor young girls,
Yes.
things of that nature. You never know.
That's right. That's
You
right.
never know, yep, where the copies of your book, either the physical copies or the electronic version, you never know where it's going to end up, and or how tremendous of an impact it's going to have.
Exactly. And crossing the waters. We're not just talking about in the United States. We're talking about people in other countries, right? Who are living a totally different life. I witnessed that in Peru. And so for someone to be able to pick that book up, and they're in a situation we can't even envision or imagine, and they can read my words, and that gives them the confidence that they need to go out another day and provide for their children. Or it gives this man enough confidence to go out another day and work for his family. Or it gives someone who is living in severe poverty and they're at the point of wanting to take their life, because I actually met someone like that in Peru, and this is what they have. Someone has gifted them a book, or they come across the book and they read your words, and bam, in that instant, now their decision, has been changed. They choose to live. They choose life because of your words. So words are extremely powerful.
That's powerful. That's very powerful. So what did you say? You said you met someone in Peru that was,
Yes.
What did you just say?
So we were, walking around the grounds and, honestly going from home to home. And I had, with the group I was with, it was, the interpreter that was with me, she was actually, I would say, about my age, in her 30s. And then my partner was actually a younger guy. So as we're going from home to home, from door to door, spreading the message, talking to people, kind of seeing where they are, letting them know the resources that were in the area, because we were working with some of the charities there. And this guy was just sitting outside. We approach him, and we're talking to him about, the resources, what's available. Did he know what was close by to him? And he's sitting there just drawing in the dirt, and he looked like he was probably mid-30s. And so the translator she gets these tears in her eyes, and I'm like, what is he saying? And she's like, he just told me that and I'm going to go spiritual for a moment. He knows that the God that you're speaking of is real. Because if you look at his arms, you'll see where he had tried to take his own life. And that focused my attention on his arms. And I was able to see the scars. She said he tried to take his own life. And when he saw the first cut wasn't deep enough, he was about to make the second cut. And he heard this voice tell him not to do it, and that his life was worth living. This man chose to receive and live and believe in that message, even though as he talked to us, he had no shoes on, and he's sitting outside on a dirt ground, on a cement ground, drawing in the dirt with a stick. But he chose in that moment to say, no, I'm not going to make this decision, all because of something that I feel. And he had to have believed it for him not to make that decision. So that let me know, again, with us talking to him and reiterating to him, you know, what you experienced, we're here to reinforce it. We're giving you words in the physical, right? But it's like, it was so powerful because then you could have somebody opening a book and reading those words and they're reinforcing it. It's so real. You cannot deny the power of something like that when you have a living, live human being in your face telling you, this is what I went through, this is what I experienced. I appreciate you today encouraging me because I did know this. Now that you're saying it again, it's helping to build me up even more to know what I went through is still real to me today. So that was amazing.
Wow. And how long ago were you in Peru and how long were you there?
Oh my goodness. That was 2017. And I was there for 7 days. Roughing it.
Okay.
Roughing it. I shared a bed with a lady that I had never met. And we became best buddies. Of course, because she was just so giving towards me. I was trying to limit my packing, you know, and so I brought a little thin blanket, like a throw you can get from Walmart, one of those rollbacks. And I get there and I'm like, oh, it's really cold at night, you know, and where we're staying, it was holes in the windows. So we're taking bags and, you know, we're trying to cover the holes. And my girl who I was with, who ended up being my bunk buddy, had a sleeping bag. And she unzipped it and opened it up and covered the both of us.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, we real close. Like, you're my friend now. So yeah, to this day, we still have dialogue through social media because she wasn't a part of the organization that I had actually come there with, but she knew someone that was a part of the organization. But yeah, she was just so amazing to me throughout that time. Once again, just showing the goodness that's still on the inside of people, you know, regardless, it's still good there on the inside of people. We just have to tap into it. So
yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, is she living in the United States?
I believe she still lives in the United States.
Okay.
She does a lot more traveling outside of the country than I've ever done. She told me a lot about her experiences of traveling outside of the country when we were there. So she definitely helped me throughout that time, and I picked up and learned a lot from her. And I was very grateful when we got to the city because that's what I knew.
Right.
But you know, it was just this gratitude that fills your heart, like, oh my gosh, you know, oh my goodness, and they're still joyful. They're still joyful. They're still happy. Absolutely.
So I was going to ask you, let me see, LaToya, I was going to ask you, so I know you said you've been writing writing your whole life, right?
Yes.
Or since you were younger.
Yes.
Is this the first time, do you have any other published works prior to this?
No other published works, but I have done several speaking engagements at nonprofits, and I have created some items that will be launching soon as well, that I've taken from a lot of what I speak, because sometimes you're talking your experiences and then you relate to people and they tell you, you know, this really helped me. You're like, oh, wow, this can really help a lot more people. It's not just me standing up here speaking. And so I've created a few things that I'm going to make available soon and very soon. So if you follow me on social media, you'll be able to see a lot of those things being posted and when they're ready to be revealed to the world.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yes.
So without giving away too much, what contribution does your chapter give to this anthology, Undefeated?
Absolutely. So this anthology, this chapter, it pulled a lot out of me from my soul. I say that because I had to go to a place I hadn't been to in years, because it's an experience that I had that I never wanted to revisit. Okay, I've healed from it. I've gotten through it, and I don't want to see that in my life anymore. But, you know, as we're all the women are coming together and we're talking, you know, and I'm like, okay, what is it that I could give? You know, what is it that I could contribute? It took me back to the abusive marriage that I was in. And I was in such a deep, dark place because the one thing that I did not want to become was a single parent. That's what I did not want. I had seen that enough. And, you know, I tried to continue to make things work for my children. But in the end, as I'm explaining in my chapter, I realized the reason for me to leave was for my children. And so I give you a lot of detail behind that hurt, that pain, what I saw in certain moments, what I was hearing. And then I'm able to reveal to the world what happened in me for me to make the decision that no, leaving is right for them, not staying. Because sometimes when you despise something, the very thing that you despise, you become, and you don't realize you're becoming that. And I was a bit ashamed of it. A bit ashamed because I should be better than this. I'm college educated. I've left a certain environment. I should not be back in this place. And then I find myself in that place. Have you ever told yourself, I don't care what happens, I'm not going to do such and such. I don't care what happens, I'm not going to allow someone to make me do such and such. And then you look up and the very thing you said you weren't going to do is exactly what you're doing, and it's exactly what you're becoming. So I walk the person who's reading my chapter through that journey with me, through those valleys, through those dark times, through those dark nights. And then I bring you back up and let you know the victory that I accomplished because of my decision. And I give you the tools to accomplish it. Not just, I made it and I hope you do. No, no, no. Let me tell you how I made it, because that's very important. And that's what I love about this anthology. We're giving the tools to succeed. We're not just telling you about successes. We're telling you this is how you get there. A lot of times growing up, I know me as a teenager, you know, you have your elders that are trying to tell you, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that. And you don't want to question why. But my question used to always be, well, how? Well, how do I do this? How do I do that? You're saying, okay, well, do this, or you know, you shouldn't be with this person, or you shouldn't be with that person, or you should try to be a teacher instead of a nurse, or you should try to be a counselor instead of a teacher. Okay, but what are the steps I need to take to make this happen if I'm thinking this? So that's what makes just the Undefeated anthology altogether so powerful and made me jump into it. Persuaded me to jump into it, because that is what I've always wanted to offer, was the how.
I like that because, well, a couple of things. I think it's a couple of things. Because I mean, like I tell everybody, I try to hold it. I don't want to interrupt.
That's okay.
Sometimes it may kind of escape me. But first and foremost, what kind of resonated with me was that you said, you know, initially, because I know so many other people have gone through this, you know, my mom too, in the past, that you're staying initially because of the children.
Yes.
But then there was a pivotal point that you said to yourself, wait a minute, I have to leave because of the children.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I know that there are people that are watching right now, or that will catch the replay, or that'll pick up that book, that will change the trajectory of their lives.
Yes.
And that is so powerful. That's okay. So that's number one. So it was a couple of things. And then number two is that I feel that when you say, you're always told, don't do this, don't do that, or do this and do that, but no one really says how to do it. You know, like they'll say, well, I want you to, I don't know, I'm just throwing something out there, everybody. Maybe I want you to you know, stay in school, get your degree, and, you know, get a good job, you know, but nobody really tells you how to do it. You know,
Yes, that's right.
and I think inspiration and being inspired is one thing. And now I'm
Mm-hmm.
kind of shifting over to something else, but that's
Yeah,
one thing. But a lot of times people don't really give you the meat of it, you
but
know.
you're
So
all
so
part.
I think it's
Yes,
good to have both, right?
that's
So
right.
get that inspiration,
That's
you know, because
right.
people are just good at that. They
That's
they
right.
are they will inspire the heck out of you.
There you
And then
go.
go to the next person, it's gonna be like, okay, come on, you got your inspiration. Okay, come on over here now. Now let's look at this blueprint. We're gonna do A, B,
There you
C, and D.
go. There you go.
So
That's
yep.
key. That's key. And that's what I received from my spiritual mentor and spiritual mother. And that's what I encourage anyone that I come across to do. Like you said, you have to cross over there because honestly, that's where it happens a lot of the time, inspiration and no blueprint. And so when you leave any place, if you go into a place seeking change, but you leave out the same way you came, let's say you go to the Department of Social Services seeking help for anything, food, shelter. You walk in there, you're homeless, right? You have no food. You talk to someone, you talk to this person, you give them your name, your date of birth, your social security number, your credit report, you know, your old address for the past 7 years, your soul, your spirit, whatever they ask you for. And then they say, oh, well, we'll just see you next week. But you came in homeless. Now you're leaving homeless. You have nothing, but you've given away everything. You've opened yourself up completely to receive something that they weren't able to give to you. And that was something very difficult for me to watch. Very difficult for me to watch others experience as well. And I am eternally grateful that I was able to have someone in my life that was able to teach me and was able to listen to me, talk to me, and for me to say, okay, how do I? And while providing a blueprint, also giving you that inspiration. Because you need the inspiration in the challenging times, but you need to know what to do. You got to know what to do. You got to know what steps to take. Now, going back to you walking into social services and you're homeless, and they say, okay, all right, we have this from you. I can see that I can approve your application in 2 weeks. I need you to go home. I need you to bring me proof of address or lack thereof. I need you to bring me back a copy of your driver's license or ID because you don't have that today. And I'll be calling you on Monday. You got something. At least you can formulate a plan. But when you have nothing, it's very difficult. All you have is that inspiration, your goal, your dream. You want out, you don't know how to get out. You want to do, you don't know how to do. But when you have that person that comes right there in your life and it can say, do this, do that, give me a call in the next 2 days, let me know how it's going. But I'm right here with you. I'm holding your hand through it because you are not alone. That's a whole different situation. That's life-changing right there. Oh, that was good. I pat myself on the back for that.
She said that was good. Wait a minute, hold on. I like that. Yeah, you're right. It was good. I can tell you speaking from the heart, you know.
Yes, absolutely.
So, okay, so let's end with this. It sounds like you are doing great. You know, you know have a good profession. When I say good, I mean something that is not going anywhere. You know, the nursing field, the medical field, that's going, you know, steadily, you know, up, up, up.
Yes, yes.
What made you decide to, because everybody that, you know, there are a lot of people out there, but a lot of people don't necessarily think about trying to give back or using their experiences to help others, right? So why do you think you're so passionate about this?
Because someone gave to me.
Okay.
Someone gave to me.
Okay.
What I have thus far accomplished in my life was only because someone was there in that path to show me the direction, to help me find the direction, or really sometimes in general, just give to me. Sometimes just holding my hand and walking me through. Sometimes lifting up my head because my head was hanging low.
Wow.
Somebody was there for me. Nobody in life does anything alone. No matter, they can be the greatest millionaire here in the entire world. But each one that I've ever listened to, and I listen and follow on social media, some pretty powerful ones and read a lot of their books. They always tell you about someone who took them out to eat. It might not have been someone in their family, but someone who enlightened them, someone who just gave them wisdom that caused their light bulb to go off. And now they're inventing, they're creating, they're patenting this and doing that. Someone gave to me. I have to give. I have to give.
Wow. So you know what? Who do you, if you don't mind sharing, who do you follow? Who do you find that is very inspirational or that helps to move you, inspire you regularly?
Yes, regularly. I have a few because, like I said, we're multi-dimensional human beings. As much as I love to give, I'm very much, I became very conscious about my finances. So I love to follow people who are doing well financially and not doing well, but they post stuff every now and again that helps you to know what to do. And so honestly, I love Warren Buffett's quotes on Instagram. I really do. I love his quotes. Some stuff sometimes kind of sits with me. I'm like, is he talking to me? Because it helps me financially and it helps me broaden my thinking when it comes to finances.
Who did you say?
Absolutely.
Who was the person that you named?
Warren Buffett.
Oh, Warren Buffett. Okay.
Yeah,
gotcha.
Warren Buffett.
Okay.
Yeah. And I absolutely love, because I am vegan as well. So I follow Tabitha Brown. I love everything about Tabitha Brown. Tabitha Brown is also my North Carolina sister from a different part. But we, got the natural going on. And, I love her spirit. I love her transparency because she's extremely transparent on her page. I absolutely positively love Miss 𝐐𝐿. I love Miss 𝐐𝐿. Had an opportunity to speak at the Power Up Summit of 2021 and share the stage with some amazing speakers. So I love Kearn. I love what she does for the community, what she gives to the community. I love her spirit. I love her providing opportunities. Amazing, amazing woman. I also have a really good friend and author, Miss Arnetta Caldwell. She is an author, and she is also a very dear friend of mine. And so I love following her as well. She does podcasting, and she posts a lot of inspirational quotes. And I follow some on Instagram that might have messages of health as well. And I also love learning more about marketing and business. So whoever falls in that category is pretty much who I follow. But most of all, I like to follow me.
Right. Right. Okay.
I like to follow me, and kind of see what my stuff looks like a little bit, because the same people that are giving these things to me, I'm like, I should be really giving this stuff back to other people or sharing it, and providing it for them because it's helpful for me and it's there for everybody to see. I mean, it's social media, it's public. So, let's share it with some other people and let's have some dialogue about it. I love dialogue. I love, going through my comments and, responding to people's comments on my stuff or responding to their comments. I love the dialogue. I love the different perspectives, because it opens you up a little bit. It lets you know you're not right about everything. So
right.
I love that.
Okay. So you know what? Let's let this lead us into, because my next question to you is what's next for you? And then if you could lead that into letting the audience know where they can contact you or how they can follow you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So what continues to be next for me is my practice, A Mother's Milk, concierge medicine, home care, as well as primary care for women and children. I'm also providing some IV hydration therapy. So we're still working on all of that. And I would love to be able to provide anyone who's interested about the launch that we will be having for that. I also have some material that's up and coming for single mothers to be able to help them to know that they have tools to be able to go back to school or to be able to get promotions at work, and also be able to have that time with their children, because sometimes you can work so hard at trying to accomplish a goal to provide, but you can't forget who you're providing for. And so I have some of those resources coming up as well that will be in my links pretty soon. As a matter of fact, next week on my social media pages. So I am on Facebook and Instagram at LaToya D. Buchanan. I am also on LinkedIn as LaToya D. Buchanan, MSN APRN FNP BC. That's Master of Science in Nursing, Advanced Practice Registered Nurse, Family Nurse Practitioner, Board Certified.
Okay, I have to look you up on LinkedIn too.
Yeah.
What is the hydration therapy? Just briefly, because you got my mind. I'm like, what about that?
I'm so glad you asked. So, IV hydration therapy is you being hydrated via intravenously in your veins. So usually when you go to the hospital, especially the emergency room, if you're having any type of vomiting, diarrhea you've had for 3 days or more, they're going to pop in an IV and give you a bag of fluids. They're going to open that sucker up and it's going to run through in about an hour or two. You're going to have to use the bathroom. And so usually a lot of people start to feel better just from that. Most of us honestly are dehydrated. By the time you get that signal to drink some water, you already have really needed water. And so the IV hydration also has vitamins, minerals. It's also, and we can put glutathione in it. Glutathione is the antioxidant that helps you with clear skin and blemishes, and it helps to even out your skin tone. Also B12 injections that can contribute and help with weight loss as well. So all of these vitamins, vitamin C, we can do bulks of vitamin C and other vitamins that will help you to get through sicknesses, and some that will help boost your immune system to prevent you from getting sick. Okay. And we also have some for those who, maybe partied a little too hard and got to go to work the next day. So they need to get a little bit over their hangover, and we can hydrate you and give your kidneys and your heart and your brain all that it needs to get you back to that place of fully functioning and alertness so you can maintain your job. I'm just saying, no judgment. So we do that. And I have medication also in the if you have that, you can put medications for that. And so just a variety of things, but mostly it's to provide you with hydration. Your body to function at a much higher level, because once you drink it by mouth, you look like when you immediately it goes into your veins, goes immediately.
Yeah, you were kind of breaking up a little bit, so I hope everybody could still heard all of that. And hopefully it's just on my end, but you were kind of breaking up a little bit. But okay, see now you're back. So just one last quick question. So does insurance pay for that? Or is that an out-of-pocket situation?
It depends. It depends on location. It also depends on your insurance. Insurance can pay depending on what you're getting it for, and you will be able to use your insurance pay card, the money that you get taken out of your paycheck and put on the pay card. So it's possible. Some clients have done that. But usually it can be out of pocket, but it's more cost effective when you actually have a membership to get it. So a membership means you pay a certain amount of money every month, and you can come in and get the IV hydrations done every couple of weeks, or what's recommended based on reviewing your health history. So everything is individualized, is based on your health history, any disease processes you have or the lack thereof, and then you can see what you qualify for, and what you're able to be administered safely. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna have to look into that because I'm in Michigan. I'm gonna have to look into that. And it's so funny because I interviewed somebody not too long ago, and they mentioned that they had it. And I can't recall exactly who it was, but they mentioned it. And I was like, I didn't ask too much about it, but I remember somebody mentioned it. And this is just within like the last month. So I'm gonna have to check into that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And now, when is the book set to launch?
The book is set to launch the end of September.
Okay.
We have a couple of dates, but I want to make sure that, you know, those are verified. So follow me on social media to be able to get the exact date, but it will be the end of September.
September. Okay.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So thank you so much for being on the show. And I'm super excited for you guys in the project. I mean, it sounds, you know, sounds awesome, and it sounds very well needed. Like it's going to benefit a lot of individuals. So that's excellent. Let me just go ahead and end. Thank you all for tuning in. And for those of you that will catch the replay, and, you know, let us know if you have any questions, or please leave us some comments, as well as share the broadcast, please. Sharing is caring. So again, I'm your host, 𝐐𝐿𝐴 Harrison. You can join me. My regular show, 𝐓𝐴 Roundtable Show in podcast, is every second and fourth Sunday of the month at 3 p.m. Actually, we have a show coming up tomorrow. So make sure you tune in or catch the replay if you're busy at that time. Make sure you tune into the show, okay, or catch the show. And your ongoing support is much appreciated. And also make sure that you are following me either on Facebook at Realizing Your Potential 123, or either on LinkedIn under 𝐐𝐿𝐴 Harrison. That way you can stay up to date as far as when my anthology, Born to Lead, Awakening the Leader Within, whenever that's going to be launched. We expect it's going to be launched in September. So definitely stay tuned. And again, if you are interested in being a guest on the show, then link up with me, inbox me, email me, or if you are interested in being a show host on the 𝐓𝐴 Roundtable channel on the Women Win Network, definitely message me or inbox me in reference to that as well. All right. Thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk with you soon. Okay. Take care, all.